Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Wrenchin' Redneck. In this video, we're going to go ahead and show you pulling this thing out of the mud out at Kevin's house, and also an update on everything. It's still got a number of issues I'd like to get fixed before I really start driving it. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and tear into it. Back at the shop with the 78 Jimmy. So we got some issues going on here other than all the grass and the mud still hanging off of it. So one issue we got is this window got broken when we first got it. I did not break it. I don't know who did, but I have a spare sitting on the shelf, so we're going to go ahead and replace that. Along with that, the rear window, I've pulled it up multiple times and it keeps falling off the track. I actually had an awesome guy from Ames drop off another tailgate that is powered rather than this manual crank, so that's kind of nice. So we might see what it takes to kind of throw those guts in this tailgate, because I'd like to keep this tailgate. I don't plan on painting it for a little while. And he also gave us some spark plug wires and some headlights and some other goodies, so maybe we'll see what all we can use. It also could use a real good vacuum and maybe just power wash the whole inside. There's so much mud that came in here from when it was stuck out at Kevin's. We had like 3 inches of rain in 1 hour. So interior detail, get the door panels put back on. That door panel, I need to try and figure out how to get it back off. That door still does not open yet, so that gets annoying. All the gauges work awesome, blinkers, everything works. Gas gauge even works, but the temp gauge isn't. We're going to go ahead and check the sending unit out on that and see if we can't replace it. I got some new windshield wipers for the bees for when it rains. And also, need an air cleaner. Not that it's really too big of an issue, but definitely need to get one on there, because I plan on throwing this thing in some more mud, especially when we get those new axles and lift kit on. Speaking of axles, we got the axles of the shop finally. Corporate 14 bolt, and I got a Dana 44 sitting right there for it. 373 gears in those. We're going to tear them all down, powder coat them. I might do disc brakes on the back if I'm feeling ambitious. I don't know. We'll find out, but probably the most annoying issue I'm having is that spring right there. This throttle is like sticking, and then when it finally breaks free, it's like, oh! And you almost screech the tires leaving any sort of stop signs, and it's just super annoying. So I ended up getting a new throttle return spring for that. And I am almost positive that these secondaries are not opening. This thing is just seeming kind of gutless. Like, it runs good, it doesn't skip a beat or anything like that, but it just doesn't sound like the 4-barrel's opening up. And I remember I had this exact issue on my Monte Carlo. So what I'm going to do, pull that cap off there, double check that there's no rips or anything in the diaphragm, maybe change out the spring, maybe somebody put a different spring in it, and it's just not opening right. Maybe there's too much spring pressure or not enough. We'll have to kind of diagnose that, but other than that, the Blazer's running awesome. It shifts great, goes down the road, kind of wiggly. And finally, the last issue is we need to get this gearbox replaced on it. I probably have 4 inches of play in the steering wheel going down the road. It's a little sketchy. As you remember in Kevin's video, we don't have a drum on this rear tire, so that means I only have front brakes. Already had a kind of a scare out on the gravel road where I had to lock up the brakes because somebody didn't stop at a stop sign. Let's go ahead and get this thing in the shop and start getting some parts replaced. Of course, it started raining outside on me. So it took everything to get the Blazer in the shop here because we got a lot of parts sitting in here. It's like 9 o'clock now, so we're gonna go ahead and get this little triangle window replaced here because it never fails. When I'm going down the road, that wind hits me right in the face through it. Usually you wouldn't think it's too bad for, you know, the beginning of May, but it's still only like 40 degrees here and raining and just windy and straight up miserable weather. It sucks. But we're gonna go ahead and get that replaced. I got another one sitting way over here. I got a set of rust-free doors that have been sitting on the shelf for a while, and we got a good window in that, so don't worry, this is coming back. I need a win, so we're gonna let this sit for a week here. Maybe it'll just fix itself because it just breaks itself by sitting. So let's go ahead and throw that door down, probably dent the car and fall on my ass. So all right, y'all, this is gonna go really well. Oh, Monster. I wonder when that's from. You know, why don't I just take it out up here? Let's do that. That's a smarter idea than trying to pull this down off the pallet rack. Plus, I'm getting old. I don't feel like pulling muscle in my back anymore. Alright, now let's just make sure we pull it out of the right door. This is the door I about pulled down too. Oh, and I have to pull off the door panel. Nice. Should have known. And we got it. Easy enough. We only had 3 screws up here. These 2 right here. Kind of had to peel back the weather strip a little bit, but well, popped right out easier than I was expecting anyways, so. Alright, figured out my issue. That right there should be right over there. That's what I've been fighting for the last, you don't want to know how many minutes. So we'll go ahead and just solve that real quick. the glass now. Be gentle. Alrighty. That's what we're after. Like a glove. Alright. Throw the hardware back in and... Oh, don't tell me this is... Alright. Maybe got a little bent. Oh, not bad. It's just... I'm gonna be able to put the door panel back on this thing. Oh, it's gonna be great. Oh, don't drop the screw. Urgh. Sure, it'll probably leak more than it did without a window, but that's okay. As long as it's not hitting me in the face going down the road, I am a happy camper. Alright, we got some triangle windows again. We'll just make sure that stays shut. Let's go ahead. I can't remember if I fixed the lock on this or not. I'm afraid to shut it now. Huh. Well, the locks do work, so I went ahead and I robbed the little dealy dab thing from the other door so we can get that put back on. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the door panel. I don't think I need to do anything else. Oh yeah, this window kept coming off the track. Let's double check that. What? Oh, now you won't go up or down. Nice faded pink brown door panels with the fanciest trim work out there. Oh yeah, perhaps you put the door handle through first. Come on, get on there. All right. Installed. I picked up a can of this stuff. I've heard good things about this. This is called Color Bond. I got it from Amazon. It's basically, I'd like to take this pinkish, light, tan, brown panels, interior, everything, the dash, and I'd like to have a black interior. And this stuff is, I don't know, we're gonna try it out, see how it works. Dries in 45 seconds. I got black. I don't know, maybe we'll just give it a little. It's gonna make it look terrible. Unless I just do the whole thing. Do I do the whole thing? We're gonna save this for another video, but man, I really want to make this interior black. And also, we need a radio in this rig, because when we're cruising, we need some tunes. Oh, you know what I need to fix? This mirror that doesn't work. It's a good armrest or beer holder, I suppose, but it does not work for going down the road, because it just immediately goes like that. Now, do I have any mirrors lying around? Off camera, I went ahead, the rear tailgate, I need to pull the glass out because there's actually wood in there supporting it, so it holds the window up. The regulator, everything's all rusted and falling apart, so I'm gonna have to actually use that other door that guy in the area dropped off for me, so thank you for that. Let's just ignore all the actual issues and let's Rain-X the windows so they look good. Let's get the Rain-X. Not bad for a 44-year-old truck. Alright. Let's check this out. It's looking good. It's like there's not even a window there. Oh yeah, if you haven't noticed, I got a new camera, so hopefully the quality's a little bit better for you guys. But, alright. No more wind hitting me in the face while I'm driving. Let's go ahead. We need to take a look at the carburetor again on this thing. I haven't done an awesome job tuning it for the pile of crap that this demon carb is on this thing. There's definitely, every time I pull up to a stop sign, it like tries to die, and then when you hit the gas, like, I don't know what's going on. Usually you can hear the secondaries kick in when you put your foot down, but I'm not hearing nothing. This is the same issue that I had on my Monty when this carburetor was on there, and I thought it was because of the cam. Well, turns out it's because of the carburetor. It belongs in the trash can. Just trying to find every excuse to not LS swap this thing next weekend. I have every part sitting in the corner of the shop back there that I've been collecting for the last 6 months while this thing's been... Alright, we're LS swapping it next weekend. Alright, so I went ahead and I got the spring out of the vacuum secondaries on that Demon 650. And springy. So, here's the spring on the 750. Here's the spring on the 650 Demon. One, the height is a little bit different, but this spring is so stiff that I can't even hardly press it down. This spring that was in the 750 is a lot more forgiving, or in other words, more springy, or less tension, there we go, than this one. This spring looks brand new, and I don't even think it's moved at all. So we're going to throw the 750 spring in the Demon, see what that does. And then also, main primary squirter was a 40. I'm actually going to go ahead and throw the 31 that was in the 750 in there. And just see how it runs. I'll check the plugs after a while, swap in a new set, and go see what happens. We went ahead, we changed the new spring on the vacuum secondaries, changed out the squirters from a 40 to a 31 on the primary, and we put a fancy new air cleaner in this thing. Now, we're out here in good old gravel roads of Iowa, and we're gonna see if it made a difference. As you kind of saw, it was taking off fine. I was getting on it a little bit, but it's idling pretty high. I think I have the idle set around 1,000 RPMs if I were to take a random guess. But it's almost too high now that when I put it in gear, like, it kind of jerks in gear. And it's sitting here idling fine, and I put it in drive. It's sitting here idling in drive just fine. But now when I drive up to this stop sign here, and hit the brakes, it like starts lugging and it wants to die immediately. So I don't know, I think this carburetor's screwed. Also, on startups on this thing, we are still having a little bit of white smoke puff out the exhaust, as you might have saw in the video of us pulling the blazer out. Could be one or two things. We could have a slight leak on the head gasket, could have a bad valve. I am selling this motor to a buddy, so I'm going to go ahead and compression test that and try to rule out one of the two and figure out what's exactly going on. Maybe that's causing the issues when we're coming up to a stop sign, along with the terrible carburetor, but I think it's just a good time to finally get that LS swapped in this thing, and we'll go from there. But I appreciate you guys watching the channel. Hit that subscribe button, that like button. Leave a comment down below on everything I messed up, and we'll go from there. I'll read them and try to reply as much as I can. Thanks, guys.